I still remember rolling out of the jacuzzi just after midnight, the steam clinging to the cool September air. My name's Joe, and it was roughly 1 a.m. on September 22nd, 2007, out on Old Dean Street in Norton, Massachusetts. My partner had stayed behind to finish tidying the deck. She loves keeping things spotless, while I ducked inside to grab another towel. The house was quiet, the only light coming from the battery-operated clock on the kitchen counter, reading 1 a.m. exactly as I pushed through the sliding glass door. A minute later, I heard her scream my name, sharp, urgent. I rushed back outside, half wrapped in damp towel, expecting her to point toward a skunk or neighborhood stray. Instead, I found her frozen at the railing, staring straight up into the night sky. My heart thudded in my chest as I looked overhead and saw it. A perfect glowing circle, hovering maybe 30 feet above our deck and jacuzzi. It was framed by a ring of lights, cold white but somehow pulsing, as though the craft itself was breathing. I tried to move, to step forward, but my legs felt locked in place. My partner, too, was completely rooted. I watched her face, illuminated by those otherworldly lights, and I could see the absolute terror in her eyes. A low, whirling hum filled the air. It felt like seconds, but I later realized it stretched closer to 22 minutes. Time warped. I glanced down at my digital watch. It blinked and faded, then flickered back to life. Somehow the clock now read 1:22 a.m., 22 minutes unaccounted for. Every electronic device in sight. The Bluetooth speaker I left charging on a side table, the little string of deck lights, even the microwave inside the house started flickering or went dark completely. It was as if the UFO had reached out and yanked voltage right out of the wires. When I finally managed to speak, my voice sounded hoarse, hollow. What is that? My partner couldn't answer. Her jaw was trembling. Then, as abruptly as it had appeared, the circle of lights dipped south, moving slowly for a heartbeat and then bursting toward the east at a speed I couldn't have tracked. In an instant, it was gone, vanished like a swallowed flash of lightning. The whirring stopped, the chill in the air lifted, and I felt my body thaw. My legs worked again. I stumbled toward my partner, pulling her into a tight hug, both of us shaking so hard we could barely breathe. "Are you okay?" I whispered, though my own voice cracked. She pointed at my pocket watch on the deck railing, still glowing faintly. When I glanced again, it read 1:22 a.m., just like inside. She insisted it had been exactly 1 a.m. when she first heard me call her back outside. We both stood there, frozen in disbelief, until the hairs on my arms fell back to rest. When I walked around the deck to inspect, I noticed something strange. Tiny flecks of silvery, metallic material caught on the tips of the ornamental bushes near the jacuzzi. They glittered in the faint moonlight like shards of a mirror. I reached out, touched one, and it crumbled under my fingertips, too thin to be anything I'd ever seen before. It was as if the UFO had brushed past the bushes, leaving behind that shiny residue. Over the next few days, our cable and internet lines went haywire. The modem wouldn't connect. The TV screen displayed nothing but static. I called the provider, and they told me our cable box was fried. Magnetic surge, they guessed. We had to replace the entire setup. Even after new equipment went in, strange static seemed to linger around any electronic device. Eventually, my partner and I decided it was too unsettling to stay in that house. We sold it less than a month later. I still don't live on Old Dean Street. Sometimes I wonder if the next owners ever saw that same circle of lights spinning quietly above their heads, frozen in time.